As you lie back and feel that last little bit of stress leave your body. We're going to bring a gentle movement into our neck to begin with. I want to invite those people in the studio to reach for a block, and if you at home have a block as well, you're going to find a block, or you could just lift your head up onto a pillow if you have one. I want to lift your neck up slightly in order to just add a little bit of greater range of motion. Take that little bump at the back of your head and place it on the very front edge of your block. So you want to make that bump on this edge here, and your neck will be suspended in air. So let's just lay there to begin with. So just allow your neck to soften with this little bit of elevation that we've added with the block. So feeling that neck again, sort of hanging out in space, and just let the weight of your head sink a bit deeper into the block. So let's just stay here for 2 more breaths. Inhale into that front chest, and then exhale and feel the back of the neck and the back of the head just sink a bit deeper into your block. All right, so we're going to begin to add that motion to our neck, and knowing again, it doesn't matter which side you begin with. Inhale before you move, and then exhale and slowly just massage through that base of your skull, letting the ear grow heavy. Letting the head now rest in this side position. Feeling the neck again, begin to adjust and open. Good. Let's inhale again. Exhale as you move all the way through that center position and come to the other side. Let's stay here again just for a couple of breaths. Let the head just rest. Excellent. All right, now with your own breath at your own pace, inhale as the nose rises up, and then exhale as you let that ear and that cheek sink back down towards the mat. Good. So I'm not going to cue you. I just want you to move when you're ready to move, using your breath and moving through that range of motion. Just encourage you to take it one more time to each side and go nice and slow so you can really feel the neck opening as you move through. Off whichever side you're on, just arrive back in that neutral position. Once again, just to let the head relax into your block, let everything soften. Feel the entire body surrendering to gravity. All right, we're going to reach up and just take that block away when you're ready. Take yourself all the way back down again. Let the neck and the head soften again. And then when you're ready, we're going to add a little bit of warmth and movement into our extremities. So maybe begin just to wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes. And then of course, when you're ready to add those ankle circles and wrist circles, you can start to move into those as well. And by now we know the importance of spreading those fingers out and those toes out just by adding the ligaments and the tendons in the hands and the feet. Go for that first full body stretch. Draw those feet together. Interlace your hands. Press your palms up to the sky. Begin to reach your palms away from you and gently point the toes away as well. And again, don't be too aggressive with this first stretch. Maybe just shimmy those hips a bit. Take one more breath in. And as you exhale, softly land that body onto the mat. Let's try one more of those, inhaling in. This time as you push your palms away, let's draw the toes up to the shins and just awaken up the front of the legs. And again, I like to encourage movement, so maybe fanning those toes in and out, maybe moving those hips a little bit more as you inhale. Good, this time as we exhale, we're gonna draw our arms all the way down to either cactus arms or T arms. You decide at where your shoulders wanna lie today, but ideally the position that allows you to completely let go and let the arm just soften into the floor. So if you find that cactus arms, your hands are floating up because your shoulders are so tight, come up to T arms. And then it's the same thing on T arms. If that's too tight, bring them down a little bit lower. All right, maybe adjusting your upper body slightly to allow those shoulders to soften. And then we're gonna move the lower body into reclining cobblers. So taking those feet up, placing the soles of your feet together. Once the soles of your feet land together, can you push into the pinky side edge of your feet, lift your tailbone off the mat, and then just move it a bit closer towards your lower body, and then let it settle down again. And then once you get here, just kind of move those hips a bit in space, take the crown of your head away, and then find yourself in that full relaxation in reclining cobblers with either cactus arms, T arms, or wherever your shoulders want to land. So let's close our eyes. Let's check in and make sure our jaw is soft. And then lastly, know that you want to breathe into the front side of your body, the chest, the hips. And as you exhale, feel the back side of the body release. Give you the option to stay with this lower body, but if you want to add a bit more to opening up the hips, you can take your right foot, lift it up, and place it just on top of your left ankle, and allow that right hip to just sink down a bit deeper. So you'll just stack, I'll show you a different angle here, you'll just stack the ankle on top, and then allow that right knee to fall down. Good, I won't leave you here very long, it's pretty intense once I lift that up slightly. Taking one more breath into that right hip, and then letting it fall back down. Good. Excellent. If you chose that modification, let's just switch sides. So taking the left foot on top of the right foot, and just allowing that left hip to sink down. Doesn't really matter where you place your foot. You can place it on the arch of the other foot, the ankle, whatever works for you. All right, taking that foot off. Now we're just going to move through a greater range of motion here. And this is where you have to be very careful with your hips. I'm going to be lengthening your levers, and the longer I make your levers, the more opening you get. So I want you to take your feet, and I want you to move your feet about 2 inches away from each other. And then I want you to move your feet about 2 inches towards away from your body or the front of the room. And then just allow your hips to settle into this newfound area of the hip to open. Reminder, at any time your upper body is done, you can bring those arms down to Shavasana or onto your hips, up to you. All right, so now I'm going to move a little bit more greater range of motion. Once again, listen to your body. So feet are going to part a little bit more, come a little bit wider, and then move them a little bit further away from your body. Now this is an awkward angle for your hips. So I won't leave you here long, just one breath in. And as you exhale, let your knees grow a little bit heavier. Just allow those hips to open a little bit further. Good, can we do one more of those? Move your feet out almost to mat distance apart, and then move them almost to the end of your mat so they're almost straight. And now this is very awkward. Allow that entire leg to soften. Just one breath, everybody. Just one breath. Good. All right, let's lengthen all the way out to our full Shavasana. So hands will come down beside you, legs will just settle in, and once again, just let the body land. Good. Stay right where you are. your mat. Place the soles of your feet onto your mat. Bring them, lock them in for a very gentle bridge pose. See if you can tickle the backs of your heels with your hands. And then place your palms down right beside your hips and feel your elbow into the mat as well. So your entire forearm is into the mat. All right, let's start by just peeling our tailbone up. So just the tailbone. And now feel the stepping of your feet into your mat. I want you to maintain this. Begin to lift your hips up towards the sky, press it into all four corners of your feet, and just slowly opening up the front side of the body. Good. Once we reach the peak, let's come back down again, one vertebrae at a time. Excellent. Let the tailbone land down and just rest before we go into 2 more of these. Now, a reminder that you want your feet about hip distance apart. Peel the tailbone off the mat. Step into all four corners of your feet. Now feel the forearm pressing into the mat. Gently push in as you lift those hips just a little bit higher. And then once again, as you come down one vertebrae at a time, just imagine that you're massaging out of that spine as you let that tailbone land. Right, for our last one, I'll give you the option for the upper body bind, but no, this is an option. Begin by peeling your tailbone off the mat. Press through all four corners of your feet. Now here's where you're just going to reach underneath if you want to go for the bind. There we go. All right. Now I've got everybody on. All right. So yeah, relax back into your mat. Begin to feel the body settle. And as the body sort of releases and settles into the mat, feel the back of your head and your neck release. Notice how, if there's anything that's sort of gripping down the body, just take note of it and ask that part to let go. And then move this quieting down of the body now to your mind. So maybe you're doing this class with me live, or maybe it's nighttime and you finished your day of work. Wherever you are that you have arrived onto your mat, I want you to sort of like sum up all of the thoughts in your head, whatever you arrived with on your mat. Sort of clear it all up, and then let's send it out for now. Let's take this 1 hour just for you. So knowing again that those thoughts don't serve you during this time of your practice. There's nothing really you can do about them while you're on your mat. So just acknowledge that and just tell those thoughts you'll be with them in an hour. And maybe not, maybe it'll be longer. All right. So as you lie back, just begin to notice your breath. In these days of uncertainty, we've shortened up the length of our breath or the depth of our breath. So let's take some big diaphragmatic breaths where we're going to fill up the belly. So if you want to try this, you could put one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. And you're going to breathe into the hand on your belly. So take a big breath in, feel the belly rise, and then keep breathing in until you feel the chest, the hand on the chest begin to rise. Keep breathing. And then as you exhale, just leave those hands where they are and feel the chest and then the belly sink down from underneath those hands. So really what I'm wanting you to do here is to really fill that belly up and open up the diaphragm. So once again, as you breathe in through the nose, keep breathing, feel the belly rise. Good, keep lifting up into that hand and then up into that upper chest and rib cage. Expand it. And then as you exhale, once again, feel it just start to descend underneath your hands. So these breaths are really important just to move that inside of your rib cage, inside of your diaphragm. So once again, let's go. One more big breath in, feel the belly rise, keep breathing, fill that belly up first, and then come up into the rib cage and the chest. And exhale it out. And as you exhale this one out one more time, feeling that come right out through the soles of your feet. Good. And if your hands are on your chest and your belly, let's just let them come back down beside us, and let's add that gentle movement into fingers and toes. And whenever you're ready to add your ankle circles and wrist circles, you can add those. And I'm going to encourage you to go nice and slow and through the full range of motion. Good. Good, and as you spread your fingers out, you're gonna feel the ligaments and the tendons. And then switch directions whenever you're ready. And of course, there is no right or wrong here. If you wanna stay and give you a big stretch through the fingers and the toes by opening them up, that might feel wonderful. And maybe you might roll them into a tight fist. Just working through, knowing again, we ask a lot of our hands all day. Let's interlace those fingers, press our palms up to the sky. We're going to go for our first morning stretch, but remember, it's not a big stretch. Just start to reach those arms above your head. Bring your feet together. Just gently point your toes to the front of the room. Reach your palms to the back of the room. And again, don't go too hard here. Just let the body just open. Feel the rib cage begin to lift up away from your hip. Good. One more breath in. Exhale that down. Just let your arms land wherever they want to land. So just let them soften. I'm going to do one more of those. Excellent. All right. Inhaling again. So interlace your fingers. Inhaling, pressing your palms away. This time, pull your toes back towards your shins. Feel the front of your shins begin to awaken. Good. Excellent. You might even fan those feet in and out a little bit just to feel yourself moving through that lower leg. Excellent. All right. As you exhale down, draw those arms all the way down beside you. Again, arrive in Shavasana. We're going to begin our practice today by doing a side body opener with a little bit of a spinal and hip added into it by coming into banana pose. So I'll remind you what banana pose is. It's where you take your head and your feet into the same direction, but leave your hips in the middle of your mat. So as we lie here, I just want you to begin to move your upper body all the way over to the top right corner of your mat. So just walk your shoulders and your head over to the top right corner. As soon as you feel like you can no longer keep your left hip grounded onto the mat, you've gone far enough. Let's just stay here for just one breath in. One breath out, and just feel the left hip soften, feel the lower back soften. All right, now walking your feet to the bottom right-hand corner of your mat. Good, keep walking it over. Good, and then once again, when you feel like you can no longer keep that left hip grounded into your mat, you've gone to the perfect distance. And once again, let's just take one breath here into the left hip. And exhale it back down again. All right. Now here's where your option is to stay. You could just relax here, feel the left side of your body melt down, and this is great. But if you want to add and start adding on to this, option is to take your left arm above your head and find either your left wrist with your right hand and start to draw that over, or if you want to even add a little bit more, you can grab onto the left elbow with your right hand and draw it over. But ideally, that left arm is not elevated off the floor. So ideally you don't have that arm up in the air, but it's just lying down. So that's where you might want to just hold on to the wrist and just take it over. And then of course the lower body, you can cross ankles over if you'd like to. And I always like to encourage for you to be a little bit curious with this. Try one ankle and then try the other ankle and see if either one of those resonate. And if they don't, just leave it the way it is. All right. So you've arrived in your position. I want you to close your eyes. The location of your head is up to you. You could turn your head to one side or the other side or look straight up. I'm going to leave you here for 3 full breaths into that left side body. And every time you exhale, I want you to feel the left elbow, the left arm grow heavier, the rib cage on the left side and the left hip grow heavier, and the left leg. Excellent. You're going to give one more breath here, and maybe you lift your shoulders up and walk them a little bit more to the right. See if you can create a little more space. And then take that final inhalation into those left ribs. And as you exhale, just soften down. we do have an ankle cross. Let's uncross our ankles. Let's walk those back into the middle. Let's let go of that wrist if you haven't. Move your hands down to help your body back into the middle of your mat. Arrive in your Shavasana position here. Just stay right here. Take a couple of breaths in just a resting Shavasana. Maybe noticing how the left side body feels to the right. Maybe the left hip is softer. Just from that initial opening. Just help my people at home a little bit understand it if you don't quite understand the banana pose. So on the second side, let's begin by just walking our upper body now to the left-hand corner. So keep moving your upper body over. And it's kind of like you're just pressing the back of your head into the mat and then lifting your shoulders and just moving them ever so slightly over. And then just allow that right hip just to soften. So if I took a picture of you from the top down, hips would be in the middle, shoulders are all the way over to that left-hand side of your corner, upper mat. Good. And now let's add the lower body. So begin to just move those feet over towards the bottom left-hand corner of your mat. Good. And once again, stay right here. Just allow that right side body to adapt, to start to open. Try not to ask too much of it right off the jump. Add those modifications or build onto it. Left arm can reach above the head, grabbing the left wrist and drawing it over, feeling yourself opening up that left side body a little bit more, or the option to grab the elbow. And then of course the lower body, if you want to cross those ankles, take it across. Lie here. Once again, I'm going to ask you to check in if there's any sneaky tension happening. What's happening in your jaw? Can you let it go? Feel your eyes relax back. And know again that big breath into your left side body. No, right side body, other side. The big breath into the right side body, expanding and creating space as you breathe in. As you exhale, feel yourself move into the space you created with your breath. So feel that right side body begin to melt down and truly let go of the right shoulder, the right rib cage, hip, and thigh. And then before you take that final breath into your right side, maybe you take that upper body a little, just even interlace your fingers underneath your back, and then you're just going to roll and tuck your shoulder blades under you, pressing not only into the four corners of the feet, but all the way through the pinky side edge of your hand. Perfect. And then once again, as you come down, if you've got the bind, just unravel. Good. And just let the tailbone land. All right, so let's just draw the right knee in and the left knee in for your first little morning hug. Wrap your arms around your legs. As you draw those knees in, you know the routine here. Maybe massage, rolling side to side. Maybe you draw circles with that lower back. Good. Now we're going to come into a half happy baby. My people in the studio, if you want to reach for your strap, if you need an extended arm. My people at home, strap or towel or belt. But if you're okay with it with your foot, you're going to place your left foot down onto the mat and you're going to take your right foot up into the air. Now your option is you can grab behind your thigh and then press up into your thigh. You can grab your ankle with your right hand and step up into your right hand. Or for the full happy baby, reach up and grab the arch of that right foot with your right hand. So we have lots of options here. What it looks like with a strap or a towel is you're going to wrap your strap or towel around the arch of your right foot, and you're going to draw down through your strap as you step up into the strap as well. So you've got so many modifications here. All right, so Happy Baby is a hip opener. It's also a bit of a hamstring opener on your right leg. So as you draw down through your strap or your hand, can you gently step up into it with your foot? And then imagine that you're rolling your right hip onto the mat as you keep stepping up. Now what feels really good here is just a little bit of movement into that right hip as you step up into that hand. All right, stay with the left leg bent, or if you extend that left leg out, you're gonna feel a real increase in the opening in the hamstring and the hip on the right hand side. Good. As soon as your left leg lands and you pull your toes back to your shins, if you're standing on the floor, no, keep your left leg extended, yeah. Good. Left leg is straight out, and then pull your toes up as if you're standing, and then even move that left leg a little bit further to the left-hand corner of your mat, and just create even more space between the right hip and the left hip. Yeah, good work, everybody. People in the studio look amazing. Perfect. All right, let's bring the right leg into center and step your left leg back up again. And let's just switch sides. So now taking your left leg up, strapping up your left foot if you're using the strap, grabbing onto the inside edge if you're using your hand, or your ankle if you don't have a strap. All right. So from here, we begin to draw down on our strap. Let's step up into it or your hand, and then roll your left hip onto the mat. Now this is where you can stay, but if you lengthen out that right leg and stretch it away from you, pull your toes up to your shin, and then again start to move that left hip a little bit in space, feeling yourself open it up. So again, gentle draw down and step up through that strap or hand. Good. Maybe keep the left leg stationary. Maybe move that right leg a little bit further to the bottom right-hand corner of your mat. Pull your toes up, open up, and feel that stretch. Excellent. All right. Let's bend your right leg back up again. Now, we're going to go into a full Happy Baby. Now, a strap doesn't really work for a full Happy Baby, but this is what does work if you can't find your feet. I'll show you what happens. Left leg up, right leg up. I can grab behind my legs and draw those the thighs on either side of my rib cage and still step up into my hands. I can grab my ankles with my hands and press up, or I can reach up for full Happy Baby. So you decide. I mean, if you have two straps, you can do that as well. Some of us might not have that though. Good. All right, so same thing. Roll your tailbone down onto the mat, step up into your hands and pull down. Good work, everybody. Feel the stretch in the hip. And then once again, the reason why it's called Happy Baby is a little baby in its crib playing with its feet. So maybe you rock a bit as you pull down. And for some of us, we might even add a little bit of an extension through one side as we go to one side, and then an extension to the other. But these are all options, not at all necessary. And some days our body wants to extend a leg, and some days it doesn't. You never know. Depends on how much shoveling you did yesterday. Good work, just roll those hips down. Perfect. All right, let's bring those knees into center. Give ourselves another big hug. So however you want to hug yourself in. And this time, instead of leaving our head on the mat, can you draw your nose up towards your knees? Perfect. And taking it all the way back down again. All right, send both legs up to the sky. And let's just do a little bit of a gentle ankle circle here. Grab onto your legs wherever you want to grab onto them, and they can be, knees can be bent right now. I just really focus on your ankle joints and switch direction. Good, let's pull your toes back to your shins. Push your toes up to the sky. We're going to do that one more time. Pull your toes back to your shins, but let's start to straighten out the legs. So start to reach your heel up to the sky. Keep your toes pulled back, and then roll your tailbone into your mat. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Let's bend our left leg down and place our right knee on top, or sorry, right ankle on top of our left knee. Right hand on the inside of that right thigh and begin to just press over. Good. Soften through your right hip. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of thread the needle here. If you need your strap, again, it should be nice and handy from your last opening if you're going to lengthen the length of your arms. You can start to draw that left knee up towards you. If it's available to you, you'll thread your hand through and interlace on the back side of your left hamstring. And you can also lengthen your arms by taking your strap, threading it through, and then just drawing on the upper knee. So if you're using your strap, make sure that the strap is a little higher on your, towards your knee to draw in. Okay, let's draw your right toes back to your shin. Let's inhale, everybody. And then let's exhale and begin to draw that left knee into your right ankle. Good. So right away you're feeling the opening in the right glute. Yes. All right, nice work. People in the studio look amazing. All right, now can I add a bit of movement to you now? Can you take your left knee and start to gently move it a little bit to the left in space, and then a little bit to the right in space. The whole time you're doing this, I want a gentle pressure into that right hip or right ankle, and then a gentle push through your right hip to the floor. So you're really massaging the right glute and piriformis. Looking really good, everybody. Okay, so I want to get more into the piriformis. So I need you to take your left knee and keep moving it to the left-hand side of the room. So keep moving, but keep the gentle pressure on your ankle. So you're going to feel that right hip opening. Good, I like it. Good, Barb. Perfect. Yeah, we're looking good. That's looking awesome. All right, now listen. When you find your tight spot over there, let's stay. And can you start to give me a gentle circle with the left knee into your right ankle? So imagine you're drawing about the size of a tennis ball into that, like with your left knee, everybody. So take your left knee and draw about a tennis ball of the left knee into your right ankle. Okay? Good, that's it. So I don't want to come too close. Take a gentle circle with that. There we go. Yeah, you're moving that left knee in space. Perfect, and then change direction of that circle. Good, excellent. One more opening for you. I know this is very intense. Keep with your breath. Try to soften through your jaw, everybody. Now find one more tight spot. Stay for me. Take a breath in. Exhale, just draw the knee a little bit in more into that right ankle, and then drop your right hip. One more stretch, one more stretch. Beautiful, everybody. Okay, let's come back through center. Before you drop that left foot down, let's just go for one more opening. Send your left leg up to the sky straight. Now, you can continue holding here and draw the upper body to the lower body, or you can walk your hands up that leg and then just start to pull your lower body and your upper body closer together. Lovely, okay. Let's come back down again. Just want you to rest before we go to the other side. So can you walk your knees a little bit wider, tense your knees together, feet wider I should say, tense your knees together, and just rest here. That opening that I just did for you is exhausting. It's a big one. Your glute is the largest muscle in your body, so it takes a lot of energy. Maybe it's not the largest, might be the strongest. Ask my nurse. Okay. All right, everybody. So, know again, if you can see it in your mind, you get so much more out of the opening. So I'm going to really ask you to tap into that mind-body connection. All right, let's begin by putting your left ankle on top of your right knee this time. Don't go into figure four yet. Remember how I always like to open up your hip first? So just take your left hand, place it on the inside, and begin to push. Okay, so sometimes it's nice to know the rhyme and the reason of why we do things. Why do I ask you to pull your left toes back to your shin in this position? It locks in the tibia and the fibula so that you protect the knee. So that's why I do it. One more breath here. All right, everybody, so here we come into figure four on the other side. We begin to lift the right knee up in towards our torso. We begin to feel the stretch of the left glute. This is where you thread through, hands or strap. Now, one of the most important things about this is making sure half an inch more to the right hand corner. Move it if you can do it. If it's not there, that's okay. And then send that final breath into your right side body. Big breath in. And then move into that space. The ankles are crossed, let's uncross them. If you're grabbing onto the wrist or the elbow, let it go. And begin to just walk your body now back into the middle of your mat. So just keep moving it back through to the middle. Once you arrive, again, just line in your Shavasana, close your eyes, allow the body to settle back down to the mat. Noticing if it feels a little bit different from just even 5 minutes ago in our first Shavasana. Right, let's inhale, let's just draw the right knee in towards your chest, the left knee in towards your chest. Let's just wrap our arms around the legs, either over top or underneath, and just come in for your first little hug. Good, take the crown of your head to the back of the room, feel yourself lengthen out your spine, and as you just gently massage through that lower spine, imagine rolling your tailbone down towards the mat as you make tiny circles or figure eights. Finish off whichever circle you're on. Now we're going to just do a little bit of a massage in the hip joint. Let's just stay where you are, except I want you to place your right hand and cup your right knee, left hand cups your left knee. So this is the one where we begin to just massage the head of the femur inside the hip joint. So we're just going to draw those knees in, and then we're going to gently press them open. You're going to feel yourself just open up through the pelvic area, the inside thigh, and then as you begin to move those knees away from your body, you're just going to feel the hip opening up, and then when you get to your furthest point where you can't reach any further, draw the knees together, and then begin that same process. Draw the knees in, gently press them open, roll the tailbone down onto the mat as you let those knees come away from you, and then draw them back together. Understanding that slower is better. As you move through this nice and slowly, you're going to be able to listen to your hip joints. You're going to be able to give them what they need. The gentle massage and just sending fluid and blood and nutrition into those joints. Excellent. Whenever you're ready, you can change direction of this. Just change the direction of your circle. Using your breath, making sure that you're not holding on to your breath. Breathing the entire time as you rotate these knees in that full range of motion in the hip. Again, finish off whichever circle you're on. Now I'm going to get you just to press those knees a little bit away from each other. And with your hands gently resting on the inside of your knees, I want you to roll your tailbone down to flatten out on the mat. And then slowly bring that tailbone up off the mat. The whole time your hands are just on the inside of your knees, with a very gentle pressure of opening up through the inside thigh and into the pelvic area. So really, if you think of this maybe as a frog, a reclining frog pose where you're just moving through those inside thighs, or even a half split, but this is kind of almost like a full one coming through. Finish off whichever one you're on. Help those knees together. Let's bring them in. Once again, once they come in, you can just give yourself a little bit of a hug and massage through that lower back that you just asked a lot of. Perfect. All right. elbows in towards your body. Let's roll onto our right hand side and arrive in the fetal position and just rest here for a couple of breaths. So use your right arm as your pillow, bring that left arm in, and just tuck everything in nice and close. One more breath into that back rib cage, expanding through those ribs, feeling those ribs separate as you breathe in. And exhale and soften through that right side body as you breathe out. All right. Using your left hand, press yourself up to come to a seated position facing me. Now, we're going to take our feet and we're going to do a little bit of an upper spine opener. So from the tailbone to the base of the skull, we're going to be doing just a ragdoll position like this. So your lower body is really going to be dependent on you. You keep it anywhere you want. We're going to begin to walk our hands into the middle, and you're going to slump down and just let the whole upper body hang against gravity. So lower body does not matter how you are. And initially what you're going to feel is from your tailbone to the base of your skull, you're just going to hang. And the weight of your head is going to stretch out the back of your neck, and maybe you let it roll gently side to side. Let your arms be completely passive here. They're not holding you up. They're just being dormant or not be helping at all. Excellent. Walk your hands back up. Let's just sit a little bit taller. I want you to stay here. Just take a breath in. And then walk down to the exact same position, but see if you found a little more space in that spine, and see if you can just hang a little deeper. Let the head hang. Can you part your jaw? Let your teeth part, and also feel your cheeks sink down with gravity. So let your cheeks go. Let everything soften through the face, and then send that softening into your shoulders, your back. Everything releases. All right, once again, walk those hands up. Now we're going to do a little bit more of an active opening. So now we're going to work through our lats, that big muscle that runs up the outside of your body, posterior deltoid, and a little bit of trap here. So this is the one where you're going to take your right hand and find the pinky side edge of your left foot. So bend that knee in as much as you need to grab onto that foot. So it doesn't matter, you can see how much I have it in. Good. All right, and then your left hand can be down for balance. You're going to begin to move that left leg away from you, and you're going to start to feel yourself open up the back. So my foot is in here. As I move away, I'm going to start to feel that stretch, right? So keep moving it away. Keep moving it away. And you're already, like I can already feel the pull in my lats. Okay, now take a breath in. Grow tall, and then it's like you're stepping on the gas pedal. Push down, and then pull back on the right shoulder, and let your head bow down. So this is almost like the one where you're hanging onto a door jamb, and you're pulling back on that right shoulder and expanding through that upper back, feeling it almost all the way down to your right waist, like down to the insertion of the lat. Good, and you know me, right? I like movement. If you just even walk that foot a little further away and then press down a little more, you might feel like you're just going to open up that lower back a bit more into that upper shoulder. Good. Back that off. Woo, good. Did you feel that? Okay, good, good. All right. Other hand. So move your right leg in as far as you need to grab onto that. So once you've got a hold of that pinky side edge, just begin to walk it out. And it doesn't have to go necessarily, it really doesn't have to go straight. It could go out to the side, and you're still going to feel that stretch. So it doesn't have to be straight. And then once you feel like you've got it to the furthest point, Begin to press through the gas pedal, so press into your hand with your foot, and then allow the head to drop down. And then feel yourself draw that left shoulder back in space. So just draw back on the left shoulder as you keep pressing down through that left hand. Good, and be just a little curious here with your neck, what's happening with your neck. No right or wrong. Good, you have a couple more breaths here, and once again, maybe you move that right foot a little further away, or you pull back a little further on that left shoulder, step into it. Excellent, all right, backing up off of that. Good work. So I've got one more stretch now for you through the entire back. You're gonna bring these knees, and you have lots of options here. This is going to be ultimately where we're gonna go. You're gonna take your right arm, thread it underneath your right leg and grab your left shin, and your left arm goes under and grabs your right shin, so you can pull it. Now, if that's not available to you, you're just gonna grab onto your shins. It doesn't matter. Okay, so from here, holding on, you're gonna drop your chin to your chest. I'm gonna show you a side view here. Shoulder, yeah. So that's just a different angle of the neck opening that I want you to make sure you have. All right, one more breath here, and then we're gonna be moving into a chest and an anterior deltoid and shoulder opener. Not the other ear? Not the other ear, yeah. I'm gonna get the other ear on the other side, yeah. But you know what, then if you need to switch, you go ahead and switch. You know, you can do that. Okay, so we've got our left ear on the mat right now. I want you to tuck your right hand in and extend your left arm straight out from your shoulder. So your left ear is already on the mat. You're gonna begin to push through your right hand until you arrive on your side, on your right side, and adjust your right hand so that you're just opening up. So roll yourself onto your right side body all the way over. And then if you want to take your left foot and step it behind your right leg or even over, that's it. So you're going to roll, I'll show you. So here, right, you're just going to roll. So push into your right hand. So right arm is bent, right arm is bent, right hand is bent. There we go. And then roll all the way over onto your left hand side. That's it. So I'll be with you here. You're going to go all the way over. Option again to take that left hand, you can always place it in your back left pocket, just adds a little bit more of an opening. Good, yeah, there you go. There's your shoulder. Let's see, that's your serving arm for tennis. I gotta keep that more. I gotta keep that range of motion. Beautiful. Okay, roll back onto your tummy. Good, slowly. Bring your arms back down again, and let's go to the other side of your neck. So now we're gonna place our right ear on the mat and look left. Take that right ear a little bit more off the mat. Press it, put more of the ear on the mat, and making sure the chin is in that neutral position. So I don't want the chin dipping down to your shoulder, and I don't want the chin up. I just want it in a neutral position as you rest that entire head down. Good. All right, so opening up the other chest. We stay where we are. So we opened up our left arm, although I think, Roy, you're gonna have to do the other one. So now we're opening up the other side. So extend your right arm out, bend your left arm in, and then roll yourself over onto your left side body. But Roy, you got to do the other arm, because you just did that arm. Yeah, perfect. There we go. Yeah, good, keep rolling. That's it. Let that be good. Good, good, good. So some of you will be all the way over. Some of you will take that top right foot and step behind her and then reach it behind. That's great. And then of course, that other modification is taking that top arm, the left hand, and putting it into your left back pocket. Yeah, there you go, Barb. Perfect. Yeah. Good. Excellent. So this group of muscles is so important to open because it is the one that we shorten all day by most of our activities. So just bring awareness into the front of that shoulder or that chest. Just soften into it a little bit more. Excellent. Just one more breath here. Close your eyes. Perfect. All right, rolling back onto your tummies. And this way, time, make your way all the way over onto your back. So keep rolling all the way until you land on your back in your Shavasana position. Just take a couple of breaths there. Make sure you have a block or a pillow available to you for your final opening. Finish today's practice with legs up the wall. If you're at home and you actually have a wall to use, by all means you can go there. For those of us in studio, we're going to be doing legs up the wall with our blocks. So whenever you're ready, you're going to reach for your block. You're going to bend your knees up and just give yourself a gentle bridge. Slide that block underneath the widest part of your hips. Generally, it's around the tailbone. You've got your lower back sort of suspended. Flip your palms over onto your mat and let your right knee come in and then let your left knee come in. You should again be in that position where you're completely balanced and then legs will go up to the sky. Once you send your legs up, just readjust your neck and just listen. If you find that you're falling off your block, it's probably not in the right spot. You should be able to hang out here forever. Those people that are at home with their legs up the wall, I'll quickly show you how to get into it if you've never done it before. My people in studio, just relax and enjoy. You'll be right up against the wall sideways. So I'm pasted up, I lie back, and then I just move my legs up here. So your hips are pasted against the wall. Good. All right, stay right where you are, people with legs up the wall on the block. Begin to make those gentle ankle circles again, knowing that we're just allowing the blood to come away from our lower legs, especially if you've been working all day. This might feel fantastic. And then change direction. All right, let's stay right where we are. I want you to bend both knees in towards your torso. So just let your knees come towards your torso. Now, you can actually put your left hand, grab your left knee with your left hand, and let your right knee start to fall open. So you can just hold on to your left knee and let your right leg stretch out and fall open to the side. So this is like an inside thigh opening. Yeah, that's it, Roy, good. Yeah. And then when that leg is out to the side, you can even move it through space. Don't be afraid of letting your hips rock a little bit on your block. Good. So there's an inside thigh opening. Nice, Lynn, looking really good. Excellent, so let's just switch sides. Bend your right leg in. Hold your right knee with your right hand and send your left leg out to the side. This is gravity opening up your inside thigh. So gravity, the pull of gravity on that leg hanging. And then, again, I'll ask you to be curious. What happens if you flex your toe back to your shin? What happens if you move that leg a little bit in space? This is where you find out what your body needs. And we all look different. Oh, I like what I see. Excellent. Perfect. All right, let's bring that leg back in. And give yourself a little tiny hug. Perfect. All right, let those feet float back down onto the mat. And let's prepare ourselves for our final Shavasana. Once you land and you are settling in, maybe your body needs one more opening. You can take this opportunity to do whatever your body is asking for in order to come into full relaxation. For those of us in studio, maybe you want to put on your socks or throw something on top of you. For those at home, maybe a blanket would be wonderful. And then as you feel yourself once again releasing into the mat, feeling the back side of your body grow heavy, sort of making those little bit of adjustments so that your shoulders can soften, your lower back can soften. Allowing your legs and your arms to just become passive. And then checking in with all the muscles again in your face. By now we know how to soften through the jaw, opening up our teeth to the very back molars. Noticing if we have any kind of tension through the eyes. Can you soften your eyes? And feel your forehead completely iron out. And then lastly, the hardest part of all is quieting down your mind. As you lie here, I want you to check in and make sure there's no thoughts that are still creeping around in there. And if there are, acknowledge them. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to exhale that thought out and let's just say I'll be with you in a couple of minutes, but I'm just going to relax. And then once again, use your breath to move yourself into a deeper relaxation by inhaling in for maybe a count of 3 or 4. But more importantly, exhaling for a count of 6 to 8. So whatever you inhale, I want you to double the length on the exhale. Length in your body. And then of course, whenever you're ready to come back slowly, just come back with those tiny movements whenever you're ready, no rush. And then your body will let you know what it needs, whether it's knees in, full body stretch, or maybe just roll to your favorite side and again, sort of just celebrate how good this feels. Pleasure to take care of you on your Wednesday or whenever you're watching this. Thank you so much for the people in the studio with me and those who joined. Please stay safe and hopefully we still get to be together many